Good morning. It is 6:27 a.m. on Monday, December 3rd, Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I've been oddly poking around on YouTube a little bit this morning. This is 5 more minutes. I think my sort of normal routine got disrupted just by we got a bunch of snow here in Boston, relatively speaking. Like the actual accumulation of snow is substantially less than, for example, the big storm that we had while I was out in Colorado. But in Boston, it's a little different because there's less places for the snow to be put, if you follow me. Because it's one thing to just say get the plows out, but the plows have to put the snow somewhere. Clear out a bunch of parking lots, and you got big mountains of snow start piling up. So uh, I think got started by just checking around to see what's the weather forecast for today and how things are proceeding and whether or not I need to consider delaying my commute into work today. I have not come to a definitive answer on that. Probably because there is no definitive answer. It's just a question of whether I decide to delay it or not. There's no official directive. But in any event, after checking the weather and that sort of thing, it just got me started like looking at short YouTube videos and animatics from My Brother and Me, which is a funny podcast. And then I was just all over the place. Ugh. Oh, my throat's a little sore. Huh. I hope I'm not sick. That would suck. I don't think I am. In any event, last night I streamed a little bit of Death Stranding, which is a PlayStation game. Actually, it might be on other platforms too. I can't remember. Anyway, it is Hideo Kojima's newest game. He is most famous for the Metal Gear Solid series. Well, I guess the whole Metal Gear series, not just the Solid ones, but So I'm a big fan of the Metal Gear Solid series, and so by extension, Hideo Kojima, who is primary artistic vision responsible for those games. Although it's certainly important to remember that, like film, video games are an enormously collaborative medium. Although there are some games where one person really could make the whole thing. Generally speaking, a big game like that has a whole big team as a result. And he makes these games that are generally pretty interesting from a game mechanics perspective, but the stories are just bonkers and weird and interesting and chock full of weird buzzwords and metaphors and intense emotions, and they're just kind of gloriously silly and moving at the same time. And so far, just playing the first 2 hours of Death Stranding, it's everything I wanted. So I'm definitely going to keep playing that. I'm going to try to port over what's it thingy, that thing, the video on demand from the just recorded video from the stream. I'm going to try to put that over on YouTube so people can check out the beginning of Death Stranding if you want. It looks like the video might have some spots where the audio gets muted because there's songs playing on the soundtrack, and it triggers the like, uh-oh, that song belongs to somebody, so therefore, it mutes it out. So there will be parts where I guess you probably don't hear me talking, and you don't hear me talking about, oh, I like this song that's playing on the soundtrack right now. But, that's how it goes. But honestly, I was pretty pleased with my first couple of hours of that game, and it's just got an interesting concept, and the story is just as cutscene heavy and weird and intense as I wanted it to be. So, gonna leave it there for right now, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.